Chosen one, what you are about to experience in the next 48 hours is not a coincidence, nor is it random. This is a message of recognition, not motivation. You are in the midst of a quiet but profound transformation, one that may not immediately appear dramatic on the surface, but will slowly and steadily change the way you view the world, make decisions, and even how others respond to you. It's crucial to understand that these shifts are not merely passing moments or fleeting events. They are the product of deep internal changes that are happening within you right now. Over the course of these next 2 days, the adjustments within your mind, body, and soul will become more and more apparent. It may not feel like a sudden burst of excitement or an overwhelming rush of adrenaline, but it will be undeniable in the way it shifts your perception and the way you relate to the world around you. What you're about to experience is a recalibration of your inner world, one that is setting the stage for significant lasting changes in your life. The truth is, this moment you are in this quiet period of calm, where things may seem like they are moving at a slower pace, is actually the perfect time for transformation. While you may not see the immediate results of these shifts in the external world, trust that these changes are happening beneath the surface. They are forming the foundation for a new way of being, one that will empower you to step into the fullness of your purpose with clarity and confidence. These changes are not happening by chance. They are a direct result of your internal growth, your readiness to embrace the next chapter of your journey, and your alignment with a greater purpose. During this time, your energy is realigning, your mind is reorganizing, and your perception is being updated to reflect the new phase you are entering. It's important to realize that this process is not something to fear or resist. While it may feel strange at times, it is exactly what you need to move forward with greater clarity, strength, and wisdom. You are stepping into a more profound understanding of who you truly are and the power that lies within you. As you move through these 48 hours, be open to noticing the subtle shifts that begin to unfold. It won't be loud or flashy. It won't come with fireworks or grand declarations. Instead, it will be a quieter shift, a shift in how you respond to situations, how you perceive opportunities, and even how you interact with the people around you. This is the power of alignment. It's not about forcing things to happen or seeking validation. It's about trusting the process, knowing that the changes taking place within you are preparing you for what is to come. These shifts may feel slow, but they are steady. And the steadiness is exactly what you need to build the foundation for lasting transformation. Understand that this time is not a delay, nor is it emptiness. It is a recalibration, a quiet yet incredibly important moment in your journey. Embrace the process, for it will lead you to a place where you no longer need to chase after the world. Instead, the world will begin to respond to you differently. The changes you will experience over the next 48 hours are nothing short of powerful, and they are only the beginning dot. As the 48-hour window of change unfolds before you understand that what you are experiencing is not simply a fleeting moment of transition. It is a major internal shift, a recalibration of your being that will affect every aspect of your life, even if it doesn't appear outwardly dramatic. This shift will not necessarily come with a rush of excitement or a sudden wave of inspiration. Instead, it will feel like a quiet but profound transformation. A shift so subtle that at first it may seem almost imperceptible. You may not recognize it immediately, but trust me when I tell you that something deep within is changing. Your mind and your heart are undergoing a powerful realignment, and this process will lead to a calm but intense feeling that will begin to seep into every decision you make, every interaction you have, and every situation you face. Internally, you are entering a period of deep integration. This is not a time of confusion or stagnation, but a time when your mind and soul are taking the time they need to realign with the new reality you are stepping into. It's a quiet phase, almost like the calm before the storm, yet it is an incredibly powerful stage in your journey. This period is essential for internal growth. The mind is not simply processing new information. It is reorganizing itself to make space for the new beliefs, new patterns, and new understandings that will guide you going forward. The calm but intense feeling that you may experience in the coming days comes from the fact that you are no longer operating in the same way you did before. Your perception has shifted, and although you may not see the full impact of that shift just yet, it will gradually affect everything around you. This is the integration window, the brief but crucial time when your perception is updating, when the internal transformation is finding its way into your external reality. The process is quiet but necessary. It's like a computer system running an update in the background while you continue going about your day-to-day activities. In this window, your mind is being reorganized, not just in terms of what you believe, but also in how you perceive the world and your place in it. This reorganization is not something that happens instantly. It's a slow and deliberate process that will take time to fully manifest. Psychologically, the shift is profound. Your identity and belief systems are changing, and with those changes, your brain is reorganizing the way it processes information. When your beliefs about yourself and your reality are altered, your brain goes into a brief period of recalibration. During this period, you may feel detached or strangely calm. Your emotional responses may seem muted, as if you are walking through life without the usual emotional charge. This is not a sign that nothing is happening. On the contrary, it is a sign that something incredibly powerful is happening beneath the surface. This is where the brain's integration lag comes into play. Neuroscientific studies explain this phenomenon as a period where shifts in belief take time to manifest outwardly. The brain, when faced with a change in identity or belief, doesn't instantly reflect that shift in behavior or perception. Instead, it requires a period of adjustment. The shift happens internally first, and it takes time for the brain to adjust its neural pathways to match the new reality. The brain's processing of the change is not immediate. It doesn't instantly shift your emotions, your behavior, or your perception. Instead, there is a delay, a lag, if you will, between the internal shift and its external manifestation. This is why you may feel strangely neutral during this time. You may not feel the rush of excitement that often accompanies change. Instead, you may feel a calmness, a stillness that can be unsettling at first. But this is exactly how transformation unfolds. In psychological terms, this is often referred to as integration lag, and it's a key part of the process of internal change. It's in this space of integration that your new beliefs and perceptions begin to take root and reorganize the way you see the world. This time of integration is critical. It allows your mind and body to process the new information, realign your beliefs, and adapt to your new reality. Your sense of self is being redefined, and as a result, your actions, reactions, and decisions will begin to shift, but only after this period of recalibration. It's important not to rush the process. This time of quiet integration is just as important as the eventual manifestation of the change. If you try to force clarity or search for answers too quickly, you may miss the depth of the transformation taking place. The realignment that is happening inside you is both profound and necessary. You are laying the groundwork for a new way of living, thinking, and being. In this quiet space, the shift is occurring. Your internal world is being reorganized, and it will not be immediately apparent on the outside. But rest assured, the changes are real. They are happening even if you cannot see them yet. And soon, you will notice the way your decisions, your emotions, and the way the world responds to you will shift. These shifts may be subtle at first, but they will build upon each other, creating a foundation for a new reality. This period of integration is not just a break or a pause. It is an essential part of the transformation process. It is the space where your mind, body, and spirit recalibrate to align with your higher purpose, your deeper truth, and the path you are meant to walk. The brain is undergoing this reorganization at a deep level, and it will take time for the new way of thinking and being to fully integrate into your life. You will feel it in your decision-making, in your relationships, and in the way you approach the world. But remember, this process does not need to be rushed. The true power of transformation lies in the stillness, the quiet moments when you allow your mind to integrate the change. Embrace this moment. Trust that what you are going through is exactly what you need. You are recalibrating for something greater, something more powerful than you could have imagined. The changes are already happening, and soon you will begin to see the results of this profound shift. As you continue to step into the quiet power of transformation, over these next 48 hours, you will begin to notice 3 distinct shifts that signal your alignment with your higher self and the unfolding of your divine purpose. These shifts are not sudden or overwhelming, but they are profound, and they will create lasting changes in the way you experience life. The first shift, one that you will experience more acutely, is the fading need to chase clarity over explain or force outcomes. In the past, you may have found yourself constantly striving for validation, questioning your choices, and seeking approval from others. The need for external validation often created a sense of urgency and confusion, clouding your judgment and making decision-making more difficult than it needed to be. You may have felt the pressure to explain yourself, to convince others of your worth, or to justify your actions to gain acceptance. This constant drive for clarity and approval often left you feeling drained and uncertain, as if you were walking through life trying to prove something to others. But as you step into this phase of transformation, you will notice a subtle yet powerful shift. The need for validation begins to fade away. You will no longer feel the compulsion to chase clarity or to over-explain yourself to others. You will find that the more you trust yourself, the clearer your decisions become. This newfound sense of self-certainty will replace the need to convince others of your worth, and instead, you will find peace in your own decisions. The feeling of stillness that arises before true clarity takes hold is not a void or a sign of indecision. It is the calm before the storm, the moment of integration when you no longer need external noise to validate your inner truth. You will begin to feel a deep sense of inner peace as you trust that your decisions are grounded in your higher purpose. This is not about rushing to make choices, but about embracing the stillness and allowing clarity to emerge naturally. The second shift you will experience is in the way people respond to you. As you step into a new phase of alignment, others will begin to react to your energy in ways that may seem subtle, but are incredibly significant. Some people may lean in and drawn to your newfound sense of inner peace and stability. Others may distance themselves, uncomfortable with the emotional coherence they sense in you, or perhaps because they no longer feel they have access to the version of you that once sought validation. And then there are those who may test your boundaries, pushing you to see if you will respond in the old ways, or if you will remain anchored in your newfound clarity. This shift in social dynamics is not about you doing anything differently outwardly. It's about your internal alignment being so strong that it naturally influences how others react to you. The more internally stable you become, the more you will notice that others are drawn to you or are forced to recalibrate their own behavior in your presence. This is the power of emotional coherence. In social psychology, emotional coherence refers to the alignment of a person's thoughts, words, and actions. When someone achieves emotional coherence, it disrupts the unconscious rhythms of social interaction, causing others to react. Human brains are wired with mirror neurons that allow us to subconsciously mirror the emotional states of others. When you become emotionally coherent, others around you are instinctively drawn to reflect that stability, whether consciously or unconsciously. Some will respond with admiration, some may feel unsettled, and some will retreat. This is not a reflection of you doing something wrong. It is the natural consequence of your own emotional evolution. People are subconsciously attuned to your inner state, and when you become emotionally stable and self-aligned, it creates a contrast with the usual dynamic that people expect. This shift can feel strange at first because the reactions may not always be comfortable. You may feel like you're losing people or that some are pulling away, but this is simply a reflection of your transformation. Those who are meant to stay will align with you, and those who aren't will naturally begin to fall away. It's all part of the process of recalibrating your social connections to match your new energy. The third shift that will unfold is the effortless alignment with reality. As your internal energy stabilizes and you move through this period of recalibration, you will begin to notice how reality starts to rearrange itself around you with minimal effort. Opportunities that once seemed distant will appear effortlessly. Information will come to you at the right time, almost as if the universe is orchestrating events on your behalf. Delays that once felt like setbacks will now seem like protective measures, guiding you away from potential harm or misalignment. The more you align with your inner truth, the more the world around you will align with that truth. This is not about forcing outcomes or struggling to make things happen. In fact, it's the opposite. The more you let go of the need to force things, the more effortlessly life begins to unfold. This is where the concept of divine alignment comes into play. As you align with your higher purpose, the flow of life will become less about struggle and more about grace. It will feel as though you're simply moving in sync with the world, as if the universe itself is clearing the path for you. This sense of effortless alignment is not a result of luck or chance. It is a natural consequence of your internal shifts and realignment. When you are in harmony with your true self, the world around you begins to shift accordingly. People will respond differently. Opportunities will present themselves, and situations will fall into place with ease. This is the power of divine timing at work. You may find that things fall into place at just the right moment, and that delays or obstacles you once faced are no longer as burdensome. When you are in alignment with your higher purpose, reality begins to move in your favor without you having to force it. This is not a coincidence. It is the result of the work you have done within yourself. You have recalibrated your energy, your mind, and your spirit. And now the universe is responding. The absence of struggle, the absence of forced action, and the absence of luck all point to one thing: divine alignment. This is the moment when everything falls into place, not because you are forcing it, but because you are in alignment with the flow of the universe. In this space of alignment, you will find that you no longer need to chase opportunities or push for outcomes. Instead, they will come to you naturally, and you will find yourself moving through life with ease, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. The key here is presence and awareness. The more present you are in the moment, the more you will notice the subtle shifts and opportunities that are already around you. Instead of rushing or forcing things to happen, you will begin to trust that everything is happening in its own time and way. You will no longer feel the need to rush or worry about the future. Instead, you will live in alignment with the present, knowing that everything you need is already on its way. This is divine alignment at work, when the world around you begins to mirror the peace and stability you have cultivated within yourself. As you move through these changes, remember that the power of alignment is not about forcing life to bend to your will. It is about surrendering to the flow and trusting that as you become aligned with your true self, everything else will fall into place effortlessly. The 48-hour window you are moving through is not about waiting for dramatic change, but about stepping into a space of calm, clarity, and alignment. This is where your true power lies, in the quiet, effortless flow of life. When you allow this alignment to guide you, you will begin to see the world respond in ways that feel natural, peaceful, and empowering. This is your moment of transformation, and it will unfold with grace and ease. Trust in the process. As this alignment deepens, something even more subtle begins to unfold beneath the surface. And it is here that many chosen ones misinterpret what is happening if they are not paying attention. You may notice that your emotional reactions no longer rise the way they used to. Situations that once triggered urgency, defensiveness, or the need to prove yourself now pass through you with far less friction. This is not detachment in the sense of apathy. It is regulation. Your nervous system is no longer operating from survival or scarcity. When the need for validation fades, it is not replaced by arrogance or indifference, but by a grounded sense of inner authority. You stop asking the world who you are because your body already knows. That knowing is quiet, and because it is quiet, it can feel unfamiliar. The mind has been conditioned to associate clarity with emotional intensity, with excitement, reassurance, or approval. But real clarity often arrives without noise. It settles in the body first, not the thoughts. You may find yourself pausing more before you speak, not because you are unsure, but because you no longer feel compelled to fill silence. Silence becomes a place of strength rather than discomfort. This is one of the clearest signs that the internal argument has ended. You are no longer negotiating your worth with the world. The stillness you feel is not emptiness. It is resolution taking shape before it becomes language. As this internal certainty stabilizes your social environment, begins to react in ways that can feel confusing if you are not prepared for it. People are exquisitely sensitive to shifts in emotional coherence, even when they cannot consciously explain what they are sensing. When you stop fragmenting yourself to meet expectations, when your words, actions, and internal state align, it creates a kind of psychological contrast. Some people will feel calmer around you without knowing why. Others will feel unsettled, as if something familiar has changed. This is because many relationships are unconsciously built on mutual dysregulation, shared insecurity, or unspoken roles. When you step out of those roles without confrontation, the dynamic has to adjust. Some will lean in, sensing safety and stability in your presence. Others may pull back not out of rejection, but because your coherence highlights their own internal conflict. And some will test you subtly or directly to see if you will return to the version of yourself that was easier to predict. This is not something you need to manage or explain. The adjustment is automatic. Mirror neurons in the brain are constantly scanning for emotional consistency. When someone encounters a person whose internal signals are steady, regulated, and congruent, it forces a recalibration. Your job in this phase is not to correct reactions, but to remain anchored. The moment you begin explaining yourself again, you interrupt the very alignment that is doing the work for you. Presence does more than performance ever could. As these relational shifts occur, you may also notice a change in how effort feels in your daily life. Tasks that once required emotional momentum now feel simpler, more direct, even if they still require discipline. Motivation, as you once understood it, begins to dissolve. That can be unsettling, especially if you have built your identity around drive hustle or emotional intensity. But what replaces motivation is something far more reliable, clarity-driven action. When you see clearly, you do not need to push yourself into movement. You act because it makes sense, not because you are trying to escape discomfort or earn approval. This is where alignment with reality begins to feel effortless. You stop forcing timing. You stop interpreting delays as failures. Instead, you begin to recognize them as part of a larger intelligence that is responding to your internal state. When you are regulated and present, your perception sharpens. You notice information arriving at the right moment, not because it was absent before, but because you are now able to receive it without distortion. Opportunities that once felt out of reach no longer require pursuit. They emerge naturally, often through indirect channels. Conversations happen at the right time. Decisions become simpler. The mental noise that once complicated everything begins to fade. This is the point where many people mistakenly attribute what is happening to luck. But luck implies randomness, and what you are experiencing is anything but random. It is recalibration. When your internal state stabilizes, the systems around you adapt. Sociology and psychology both recognize that individuals who demonstrate consistency, calm, and reliability alter group dynamics simply by being present. Others adjust expectations. Doors open not because you demanded access, but because your presence reduces uncertainty. Delays begin to feel protective rather than obstructive because you can sense when something is not aligned. You may even feel guided away from opportunities that once would have excited you. That is not loss. That is discernment developing. Presence allows you to work with reality instead of against it. Instead of asking why something is happening, you begin asking how to respond most effectively. This shift alone conserves enormous energy. When you are no longer fighting, reality stops pushing back. What makes this phase powerful is how quiet it is. There is no dramatic announcement, no external marker that tells you everything has changed. The changes reveal themselves through efficiency, through emotional neutrality, where there once was turbulence, through a sense of readiness that does not need reassurance. You may notice that you are less reactive to outcomes. Success does not inflate you. Setbacks do not destabilize you. This emotional steadiness is not numbness. It is resilience integrated into your nervous system. Cognitive science refers to this as detachment from outcome-based self-worth. When your sense of value is no longer tied to immediate results, obstacles lose their emotional charge. They become logistical rather than personal. You stop asking what this says about you and start asking what needs to be done. This mental shift is one of the clearest indicators that alignment has taken root. You are no longer operating from fear of loss or hunger for validation. You are operating from coherence. As coherence strengthens your relationship with time, also begins to change. Urgency fades. Not because nothing matters, but because you trust your capacity to respond when it does. You stop rushing decisions, not out of hesitation, but out of respect for precision. You think longer, then move decisively. This rhythm feels slower from the outside, but it produces cleaner outcomes. People around you may sense this and begin to defer to your judgment without consciously deciding to do so. This is not authority imposed, it is authority perceived. Humans instinctively trust those who do not appear internally conflicted. Your calm becomes communicative. It signals that you are not easily swayed, not easily panicked, and not dependent on external reassurance. That signal changes how negotiations unfold, how opportunities are offered, and how responsibility is entrusted to you. Influence begins to move sideways rather than directly. You may hear your name mentioned in rooms you are not in. You may notice doors opening without effort. This is not favoritism. It is alignment producing leverage. The most important thing to understand during this phase is that none of this requires you to do more. In fact, doing more too soon can disrupt the integration that is taking place. The work right now is attention, not action. Awareness, not performance. By observing these shifts without trying to control them, you allow the recalibration to complete itself. The 48-hour window you are moving through is not a deadline. It is a threshold. A moment where internal changes begin to reorganize external reality in subtle but undeniable ways. If you stay present, if you resist the urge to force clarity or explain yourself, you will notice that life begins to feel cleaner. Not easier, but more precise. Less noisy, less reactive, more aligned. This is not a peak moment. It is a foundation forming. And what is built on this foundation will not require constant effort to maintain. It will hold because it is rooted in who you have become, not in what you are trying to achieve. As you step deeper into this period of transformation, you will begin to notice something that may feel unsettling at first: the quiet nature of your evolution. Unlike the dramatic moments often depicted in stories or movies, real transformation does not announce itself with loud events or sudden, earth-shattering occurrences. Instead, it quietly seeps into your life through subtle shifts in understanding perception and perspective. These shifts are not loud or flashy, but they are deeply powerful. Transformation, in its truest form, is not about instant gratification or visible results. It is about the slow, steady internal work that reshapes who you are from the inside out. You will begin to feel the weight of this process, not in explosive bursts, but in the still moments of realization, in the moments when you no longer need to chase approval or validation from the world around you. It's in the moments when you no longer feel compelled to over-explain yourself or seek external validation for your choices. It is in the moments when you become comfortable with silence, when you no longer feel the need to justify your decisions to others because you have found an unwavering sense of certainty within yourself. This quiet evolution is a sign that your transformation is real. It is not marked by external fireworks, but by the internal peace that gradually replaces the need for external approval. You no longer need the applause of others to feel validated. You no longer need reassurance or recognition. Instead, you find your worth in your own inner knowing. This is where true self-reliance is born. It is not about stubbornly refusing to accept help or input from others, but about developing the confidence to trust your own inner compass. You begin to realize that the validation you once sought from others was not because you were uncertain, but because you had not yet fully embraced the power of your own voice and your own truth. As you step into this new way of being, you begin to understand that you are enough just as you are. Your self-worth is not contingent on how others perceive you or what they think of your choices. It is found in the quiet strength of your own conviction. This is where the real power lies, when you stop seeking approval and start embracing the full force of your own self-reliance. This shift from external validation to internal self-assurance is not an overnight change. It's a gradual process, one that takes time and practice. But as you move through this transformation, you will begin to notice that the need for validation gradually fades away. What replaces it is a calm sense of clarity and an unwavering belief in your own ability to make decisions that align with your higher purpose. The need to explain yourself or justify your actions diminishes. You don't need to make excuses anymore. You don't need to seek reassurance. You simply know. And in that knowing, you find a sense of peace that is unparalleled. This is the true nature of transformation, the quiet evolution of self that happens when you finally realize that your worth is not dependent on anything external. As this internal recalibration continues, you will also experience what is known as commitment collapse. This concept is rooted in the idea that when a person truly commits to a decision or a path, there is no longer any debate or internal struggle about it. The mind no longer wrestles with whether or not to make a choice, because the choice has already been accepted on a deep subconscious level. This is where transformation truly takes root. It's not just about intellectual understanding or external circumstances. It's about a deep internal acceptance of your path, your decisions, and your place in the world. Commitment collapse is the moment when you no longer feel the need to waver or second-guess yourself. When you make a decision, it is made, and you move forward with unwavering confidence. The mind no longer debates what to do next because the internal shift has already occurred. There is no longer any internal conflict. This is the shift from survival mode to self-regulation. In survival mode, every decision is a reaction to fear, uncertainty, or the need to protect yourself from external threats. You constantly feel the pressure to make the right choice to ensure your safety, your success, or your validation. But as you transition into self-regulation, you begin to make decisions from a place of clarity and focus, not fear. You no longer feel like you are merely surviving. You are living intentionally, with purpose and direction. This shift is profound. It is the moment when you stop reacting to life and start responding to it with calmness and clarity. When you enter this space of self-regulation, your decisions become more deliberate. You begin to trust your instincts, knowing that your internal wisdom will guide you in the right direction. There is no longer a need for external input or validation because you have developed a deep trust in your own judgment. You no longer question yourself. You move forward with confidence, knowing that the path you are walking is the one you are meant to be on. The shift from survival mode to self-regulation is not about eliminating challenges or obstacles from your life. Challenges will still arise. Obstacles will still appear. But the way you approach them changes. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or urgency, you approach challenges with calm focus and the understanding that everything you need to navigate them is already within you. You no longer feel overwhelmed by life's difficulties. You face them with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you are in control of how you respond to them. This internal shift is the essence of true personal power. It is the ability to move through life without being swept away by emotions, without being dictated by external circumstances, but instead choosing how you respond to each moment with intentionality and clarity. As you continue to deepen into this process, you will find that life begins to unfold with greater ease. The weight of uncertainty begins to lift, and you move through each day with a sense of quiet certainty. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself or to chase external approval. Instead, you simply walk your path with confidence, knowing that each step is aligned with your higher purpose. This is the true nature of transformation. It is not about external accolades or recognition. It is about the quiet power of self-reliance, the ability to trust yourself, and the wisdom to move through life with clarity, focus, and unwavering confidence. The work you are doing now is not about striving or struggling. It is about allowing the evolution of your true self to unfold naturally. Trust in the process and know that with each passing day, you are becoming more aligned with your higher purpose and more capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and ease. As you move deeper into your transformation, you will begin to experience a shift in how you approach your actions, decisions, and overall energy. The first significant change you will notice is the way motivation begins to evolve. Whereas in the past, motivation may have been driven by emotion and urgency, those emotional highs that often propel us into action, this phase of your journey will see motivation transform into something much more grounded precision. You will no longer need that emotional push to move forward. Instead, you will act based on clarity, understanding, and alignment with your higher purpose. In your previous state, motivation may have been fueled by external pressures, deadlines, or emotional impulses. You may have found yourself scrambling to meet expectations driven by the emotional intensity of needing to get it done or not wanting to fall behind. It's the kind of motivation that relies heavily on external factors or emotional fluctuations to get you moving. While that type of motivation can serve its purpose in certain contexts, it is often unsustainable and unreliable. You've likely experienced moments where you felt inspired and driven one day, but then when the emotional high faded, so did the energy to keep going. This cycle of emotional ups and downs leaves you feeling exhausted and disconnected from your true purpose. But as you step into this new phase of alignment, you will no longer rely on fluctuating emotions to fuel your actions. Instead, motivation shifts into precision, a quiet, unwavering drive that is rooted in understanding and clarity. This clarity comes from the deep internal work you've done during your transformation. You now know what you want, why you want it, and how it aligns with your higher purpose. You act because it makes sense, not because you need to prove something or escape discomfort. There is no longer any frantic rushing or forced energy. You don't need to chase results or push against the current. Instead, you move forward with a steady, calm determination that is guided by your inner knowing. Motivation now flows from a place of alignment rather than urgency. When you feel aligned with your purpose, your actions become intentional and directed. You no longer find yourself spreading yourself thin, doing things just to feel productive or to meet someone else's expectations. Instead, you act from a place of discernment. You choose what aligns with your truth, your values, and your mission. And that's where you focus your energy. This shift in motivation is closely linked to the second major change you will experience: the deepening of your discipline. As you move forward in alignment with your true self, you will find that discipline no longer feels like something you have to force or struggle with. It will no longer be a constant battle against your own resistance as it may have felt before. Discipline will begin to feel more like alignment, a natural flow of action that is in harmony with your higher purpose. Where once discipline may have felt like a daily effort to stay on track, now it will feel like a natural extension of your aligned state. You will no longer need to push yourself to act because you will be moving in the direction that feels most true to who you are. There will be a sense of ease in your actions, even as you stay focused and committed to your goals. This is the power of alignment over effort. When you are aligned with your purpose, discipline becomes effortless. It stops feeling like a chore and becomes a seamless part of your journey. Rather than forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do, you will be able to move forward with grace and ease. You will do the work because it resonates with who you are and where you are going. You are no longer fighting yourself to achieve success. The work becomes less about pushing through resistance and more about choosing what is most important and removing what no longer serves you. This new discipline is not about forcing yourself into a rigid structure or following a set of rules because you feel like you should. Instead, it is about the strategic removal of distractions, obstacles, and anything that no longer aligns with your purpose. As you deepen into your alignment, you begin to naturally let go of things that do not support your growth. You become more discerning about where you invest your time, energy, and attention. The work you do becomes more focused and intentional. You don't waste time or energy on things that are not in harmony with your mission. The strategic removal of what no longer serves you allows you to conserve your energy and direct it toward the areas that truly matter. This process is not about denying yourself pleasure or comfort. It's about choosing what is most valuable for your growth and purpose. It's about simplifying your life so that you can focus on what is truly important and what will bring you closer to your higher goals. Discipline, when rooted in alignment, becomes a tool for liberation rather than restriction. You no longer feel trapped by your commitments or overwhelmed by the demands of others. Instead, you feel empowered to make choices that honor your path and support your inner peace. The work you do is no longer a series of tasks to check off a list. It becomes an expression of who you are and where you are headed. The more you embrace this new discipline, the more you'll feel in control of your life without the stress or strain of forcing things to happen. This phase of transformation is not about doing more, but about doing less, but with more intention. It is about shedding the distractions, the excess, and the unnecessary, and focusing on what truly matters. As you release what's no longer aligned with your purpose, you will begin to notice that you have more energy, more clarity, and more time to focus on what really drives you. The pressure to perform, to chase success, or to meet others' expectations will begin to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are doing the work that is meant for you. You are no longer pushing against the tide. Instead, you are riding it, moving with ease and precision. You will also notice that the work you do becomes more impactful. What once required great effort now yields results that are disproportionate to the energy you've invested. This is the power of alignment and precision at work. When you are in harmony with your true self and your purpose, the work you do becomes effortless in its effectiveness. You are no longer working harder. You are working smarter, with more focus and with a deeper connection to what you are creating. The power of precision over emotion is not about ignoring your emotions or denying the natural fluctuations that come with being human. It is about transcending the emotional highs and lows that once dictated your actions. Instead of relying on fleeting feelings to drive you, You will now act from a place of deep understanding and self-certainty. Your actions will be guided by clarity, not emotional impulses. You will find yourself more deliberate in your decision-making, more focused in your efforts, and more grounded in your purpose. The emotional chaos that once held sway over your decisions will give way to a sense of calm certainty that propels you forward. This is the power of precision. It is the ability to act with purpose, clarity, and alignment regardless of external circumstances. You no longer need to be swept away by the emotional tides of the moment. You can stand firm in your own truth and move forward with grace and ease. This is the essence of true discipline and alignment, acting not because you are driven by emotion, but because you are driven by purpose. As you continue to walk this path, you will begin to experience the profound sense of peace and clarity that comes with moving in alignment with your higher self. You will no longer feel like you are chasing success or striving for recognition. Instead, you will be guided by the quiet power of precision, and you will find that the world around you begins to respond to your calm, deliberate actions with increasing respect and recognition. This is the new rhythm of your life, a life of purpose, clarity, and alignment, where discipline becomes effortless and success flows from within. As you settle deeper into this rhythm of precision, you will also begin to notice something extraordinary. Life becomes less about striving and more about being. There is an undeniable power in this shift. As you stop operating from a place of emotional urgency, you move into a space where your decisions, actions, and energies are rooted in your deepest understanding of who you are and what you are here to do. You will realize that the world does not need you to chase after it, because in truth, the more you align with your purpose, the more the world will align with you. Your actions, though deliberate, no longer feel forced or overextended. You are no longer pushing yourself to the brink of exhaustion to prove your worth. Instead, you are moving with ease and certainty, knowing that each step you take is supported by the strength of your internal alignment. This shift allows you to reclaim a sense of peace that was previously elusive. When motivation relied on external factors, pressures from society, demands from others, emotional highs or lows, it was exhausting. You were driven by external forces that often left you feeling drained and disconnected from your true essence. Now, however, as you move in alignment with your purpose, you will find that motivation becomes something far more sustainable. It is no longer something you need to seek or summon. It is a natural extension of your clarity and alignment. You act because it feels right, not because you have to. Your actions come from a place of confidence and inner knowing, which allows you to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary friction. The work you do becomes more efficient and effective because it is rooted in authenticity. You no longer feel the need to prove anything. You simply exist and act from a place of inner certainty, and the world begins to respond accordingly. Jetsu, this transformation also fosters a shift in how you interact with time. When motivation was driven by external factors or emotional impulses, time often felt like something you were constantly running out of, something that controlled you. There was always the sense that you had to hurry, that you had to do more in less time, and that every moment was a race towards some distant goal. But now, as your motivation shifts to precision time, itself begins to feel different. You no longer rush. You no longer feel the pressure to do more or be more. Instead, you understand the value of presence, of being in the moment and allowing time to unfold naturally. This is not to say that you stop being productive or intentional. On the contrary, you become more productive and intentional than ever. The difference is that you no longer feel the weight of time bearing down on you. You are able to act with a deeper sense of focus and purpose, and the results you achieve feel less like a race and more like a natural unfolding dot. This is the beauty of discipline rooted in alignment. Where discipline once felt like an effort to push through resistance, it now feels like an effortless flow. You no longer force yourself into action or need to summon the willpower to stay disciplined. Instead, discipline is an extension of your inner clarity. You simply know what needs to be done, and you move forward with confidence without needing to fight or struggle. The work you do becomes less about effort and more about purpose, removing distractions, letting go of unnecessary tasks, and focusing your energy on the things that truly matter. It's a process of constant refinement. You will find yourself naturally letting go of things that no longer serve you. Whether it's unhealthy relationships, unnecessary commitments, or the constant need to impress others. With this newfound clarity comes a deeper understanding of the importance of boundaries. Boundaries are no longer about defensiveness or protecting yourself from harm. They become a way of preserving your energy and staying aligned with your true purpose. You will learn to say no without guilt and yes without hesitation. Your boundaries become a reflection of your internal alignment, and they guide you in a way that is clear, firm, and compassionate. As your ability to regulate your actions and emotions improves, your sense of inner authority also strengthens. No longer are you at the mercy of external influences or the whims of other people's expectations. You stand firm in your own truth and move forward with a quiet but powerful confidence. This shift from survival mode to self-regulation also allows you to approach challenges with a new perspective. In survival mode, every challenge felt like a threat. Every obstacle seemed like something to fight against, to overcome, to avoid. But as you enter this new phase of alignment, challenges become opportunities for growth. You begin to approach life with the mindset that obstacles are not roadblocks, but stepping stones to greater clarity and understanding. Instead of reacting to challenges with stress or anxiety, you meet them with focus and purpose. The world no longer feels like something you have to fight against. You no longer waste energy on resistance. Instead, you simply take action in a way that is aligned with your highest purpose. The clarity that you now possess allows you to discern which battles are worth your energy and which ones are best left behind. This is the power of precision over emotion. You are no longer driven by the emotional highs and lows that once dictated your actions. You act from a place of deep understanding, guided by your internal compass and unwavering alignment with your purpose. You move forward with purpose, not because you are driven by external forces, but because your inner truth propels you. Your decisions become more deliberate, your actions more strategic, and your energy more focused. As a result, the impact of your actions becomes exponential. What once felt like a struggle now feels like a natural flow. The work you do becomes more effective, more impactful, and less draining. This is where true power lies, when your actions are aligned with your purpose and your energy is focused on what truly matters. It is no longer about trying to achieve success or recognition. Success and recognition come naturally when you act from a place of clarity and precision. When you no longer need to seek validation from others, the world begins to recognize you for who you truly are. You become magnetic, not because you are forcing it, but because your energy is grounded in self-certainty and alignment. The world will begin to respond to you in ways that feel effortless, and the opportunities that once seemed out of reach will begin to appear with ease. This phase of transformation is not about doing more, but about doing less with more precision. It's about focusing your energy on what truly matters and letting go of the rest. The power of precision over emotion lies in its ability to remove distractions and allow you to focus on what truly moves you forward. When your actions are aligned with your purpose, when you are no longer distracted by the noise of external validation, life becomes simpler, more effective, and far more fulfilling. You stop chasing after success and start allowing it to come to you naturally as a result of your alignment with your true self. This is the essence of real transformation. It is quiet, subtle, and rooted in clarity, and it creates a profound impact in everything you do, as you continue on your path of transformation. One of the most powerful shifts you will experience is the subtle yet profound recognition that begins to follow you, not because you are striving for it, but because your very presence has become magnetic. The recognition and respect that you receive from others will no longer come from the force of your actions, the need to impress, or the validation you once sought externally. Instead, it will arise naturally from the alignment you have cultivated within yourself. You will begin to notice that people are responding to you differently, not because you are doing anything outwardly dramatic, but because something deep within you has changed. Your internal coherence, the alignment of your thoughts, words, and actions creates a gravitational pull that others can't help but notice. This recognition is not the loud applause or external validation you may have once craved. It is quieter, more subtle, but infinitely more powerful. When you are aligned with your truth and living authentically, you no longer need to chase recognition. It begins to come to you naturally without effort. People will begin to sense that you are different, not in a way that feels intimidating or overwhelming, but in a way that makes them stop and take notice. Your presence alone will elicit respect, not because you have demanded it, but because you embody something real and stable in a world that is often chaotic and uncertain. This is the true power of influence. It is not loud, it is not forceful, and it is not about seeking approval. It is about being so firmly rooted in who you are that others are naturally drawn to you. Your actions no longer require explanation or justification because your inner stability speaks louder than any words or external accomplishments could ever do. This shift from chasing validation to becoming a stable point in a chaotic world is transformative. You are no longer defining yourself by how others see you or by the validation they provide. Instead, you have become a source of stability for yourself and for those around you. As you continue to deepen into your alignment, you will find that recognition follows you naturally. It is no longer something you have to seek out or force. It will be a byproduct of the peace, confidence, and clarity you now radiate. This is not about external rewards or attention. It is about the recognition that comes when you are fully aligned with your purpose, and the world begins to reflect that alignment back to you in the form of respect, opportunities, and connection. As you embody this internal stability, you will also notice a subtle but powerful shift in how others respond to you. This is where the concept of social and energetic displacement comes into play. When you become internally coherent, when your energy is aligned and stable, the people around you are naturally affected by it. People's behaviors begin to adjust to your newfound presence without you even having to say a word. This is not about controlling others or manipulating situations. It is about the natural force of your energy. When someone becomes aligned with their truth, their energy shifts, and that energy has the ability to subtly rearrange the dynamics in their environment. Social displacement occurs when others begin to adjust their behavior sometimes without realizing why, in response to your energy. People who once may have taken your presence for granted may now stop and listen more attentively. Others may feel more at ease in your presence, drawn to the calm and stability you bring. Some may even begin to retreat, unable to cope with the contrast between their own internal dissonance and your internal coherence. This is the essence of energetic displacement. The concept is simple. When you align yourself with your highest truth, your energy becomes a force that subtly shifts the world around you. This isn't about forcing change or manipulating people. It's about living authentically without compromise and allowing that authenticity to create space for others to do the same. As your energy becomes more stable, you begin to create a ripple effect in the world around you. You no longer need to convince others of your worth. Your presence alone will be enough to command attention, elicit respect, and encourage others to realign with their own truths. Energetic displacement is also about how the world adjusts to your own internal stability. When you are grounded in your purpose and aligned with your highest potential, the universe begins to rearrange itself to support you. This isn't luck, and it's not coincidence. This is divine alignment at work. As you align with your true self, your external circumstances will begin to shift in ways that feel natural and effortless. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will start to present themselves. People will begin to support you in ways they never did before, not because you forced it or manipulated them, but because your internal coherence is creating space for these opportunities to flow toward you. This is the law of attraction in its truest sense, not about simply wishing for things to happen, but about aligning yourself so fully with your purpose that the world begins to reflect that alignment back to you. The more you align with your truth, the more the world will respond. The people, opportunities, and circumstances that you need to fulfill your purpose will naturally come into your life. It's as if the universe itself is rearranging to meet you where you are. This process of social and energetic displacement is a powerful reminder that when you are aligned with your truth, you are not fighting against the world. You are working with it, and the world begins to work with you in return. The beauty of this shift is that it is quiet. It doesn't require force, and it doesn't demand attention. It simply is. You will notice that as you become more internally stable, people begin to see you differently. They sense that you are no longer easily swayed by external circumstances or emotional highs and lows. You are grounded, centered, and unshaken, and that stability has a magnetic quality that draws others in. You will find that you don't have to chase opportunities anymore. They come to you naturally, attracted by the energy you are emitting. This is the true power of your presence, the gravitational pull that comes from being fully aligned with your purpose. You no longer have to prove yourself to the world. Your inner alignment is the proof, and it speaks louder than any external achievement ever could. Recognition and respect follow naturally when you stand firmly in your truth. As you become more grounded and centered in your purpose, you will notice that the world begins to adjust to you. Opportunities appear, people respond, and circumstances shift, all because you have become the stable point around which everything else revolves. This is the true power of quiet influence, when your energy becomes so aligned that the world shifts around you without you having to force it. Social and energetic displacement is not a forceful change. It is a subtle one that comes naturally as you continue to embody your truth. As you become more aligned with who you are, your energy becomes a guiding force for others. You don't need to chase after validation or recognition. It will come to you as a result of your presence, your clarity, and your authenticity. This is the power of being grounded in your truth. You stop chasing after external validation because you no longer need it. Instead, the world begins to reflect back to you the recognition and respect you've already earned. The shifts in how others respond to you are a testament to the power of internal alignment. As you continue to grow, remember that your presence is enough. You don't need to force anything. Just continue walking your path aligned with your truth and let the world adjust around you. The recognition, respect, and opportunities will come, not because you have chased them, but because you have allowed yourself to be fully who you are. That is the quiet, subtle, and powerful influence of living in alignment with your highest. As you continue to deepen into your alignment, you will begin to experience the true reward of the internal shifts you've undergone, the reward of alignment and mastery. What once seemed difficult, complex, or overwhelming now begins to unfold with a grace and ease that may surprise you. This reward is not about achieving more by working harder. It's about achieving more by working smarter. As you move forward with precision and purpose, tasks that once required immense energy begin to yield significant results with minimal effort. The friction that once accompanied your actions starts to fade, and you find that you are able to accomplish more with less. This is the power of alignment. When you are aligned with your true self, with your purpose, and with your higher calling, the work you do flows with ease. It is no longer about forcing outcomes or struggling against resistance. Instead, it is about applying your energy thoughtfully, efficiently, and strategically. In this new state of alignment, you are able to identify what truly matters and focus your energy on those things that will have the greatest impact. You stop scattering your efforts across countless tasks, many of which no longer serve you or your purpose. Instead, you move with purpose, using your energy to propel yourself forward in a way that is both efficient and effective. This shift from working harder to working smarter is a profound one. It's not about eliminating hard work or dedication. It's about recognizing that hard work, when guided by clarity and alignment, becomes effortless. When you align with your purpose and your higher self, you become more capable of achieving results with less wasted energy. This is the result of deep mastery, the ability to work efficiently to conserve your energy and to make your actions count. As you embrace this new way of working, you will notice that the world begins to respond differently. Opportunities that once felt distant or unattainable are now within your reach. You will find that things begin to happen with less effort on your part because your alignment has created a space for these opportunities to flow naturally into your life. This is not about luck or coincidence. It is the result of mastering the art of alignment, of trusting the process, and of applying your energy in the most strategic, purposeful way possible. The reward of alignment is not just about working smarter. It is also about learning to trust your intuition and embrace the flow of life. As you move forward on your path, you will begin to notice that your intuition, once a faint whisper, becomes louder and more reliable. You will begin to trust it more and more, recognizing it as a refined tool that helps guide your decisions without the need for overthinking or second-guessing. This shift in your decision-making process is incredibly powerful. It allows you to act with confidence and clarity, knowing that you are being guided by a deeper wisdom that comes from within. Your intuition, in this sense, is not something that you need to cultivate artificially or force. It is a tool that is built through experience, reflection, and alignment with your highest truth. The more you trust it, the more refined it becomes. You will find that your decisions become quicker and more accurate, and you no longer feel the need to overanalyze or seek external opinions. Instead, you will be able to make decisions with ease, trusting that your intuition is guiding you in the right direction. This process of trusting your intuition is a direct result of the internal work you have done to align with your true self. As you clear away the noise and distractions, you create space for your intuition to speak clearly. It is no longer drowned out by self-doubt or external opinions. Instead, it becomes a powerful tool that allows you to move through life with clarity, confidence, and grace. This shift is not just about quick decision-making. It is about developing the ability to recognize patterns in your life and respond accordingly. As your intuition becomes more refined, you will begin to notice patterns that you may have missed before. These patterns will help you make decisions more effectively, allowing you to anticipate outcomes and act with precision. This is the power of pattern recognition, the ability to see connections that others may miss, to understand the underlying forces at play, and to make decisions based on this deeper understanding. As you develop this ability, you will find that life becomes less about reacting to external circumstances and more about moving in flow with the natural rhythms of your life. The work you do becomes more purposeful, and the decisions you make are grounded in clarity and understanding. You will begin to recognize the subtle signs that guide your path, and you will trust that these signs are leading you exactly where you need to go. Trusting your intuition is not about abandoning logic or reason. It is about integrating both the wisdom of the mind and the wisdom of the heart. You will learn to blend your logical reasoning with your intuitive understanding, creating a powerful decision-making process that allows you to act with both clarity and insight. The more you trust your intuition, the more confident you will become in your decisions, and the more you will notice the alignment between your inner world and the outer world. Opportunities will flow to you with ease, and you will find that the world begins to respond to your presence in ways that are aligned with your purpose. This shift also transforms how you approach challenges and obstacles. Instead of facing them with anxiety or fear, you will approach them with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are being guided by a higher wisdom. You will trust that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and that every obstacle is simply a part of the process of mastering your own alignment. The more you trust your intuition, the more you will understand that challenges are not something to be feared or avoided. They are simply stepping stones to greater clarity, greater mastery, and greater alignment with your purpose. The more you trust, the more you will begin to see the world not as a series of obstacles, but as a series of opportunities to align more deeply with your truth. The reward of alignment and mastery is profound. It is not just about achieving external success. It is about creating a life that is in harmony with your deepest desires and your highest purpose. It is about moving through the world with confidence, clarity, and grace, knowing that every decision you make, every step you take, is aligned with the flow of life. As you continue on this path, you will find that you are no longer driven by the need to prove yourself or to seek validation from others. Instead, you'll be driven by the quiet power of your own inner wisdom, trusting that you are exactly where you need to be. The work becomes less about striving and more about being. It is about becoming the person you are meant to be and trusting that the world will respond to you accordingly. The reward of alignment is not just the achievements you will unlock, but the peace, confidence, and joy that come from living a life that is fully aligned with your highest truth. As you move forward, trust in your intuition, embrace the flow of life, and continue to work smarter, not harder. The world is waiting for you to step into your full power. And when you do, everything will align perfectly. As you stand at the threshold of this incredible transformation, the time has come to fully embrace the shift from seeking to knowing. For so long, you may have felt the urge to prove yourself, to seek recognition, and to chase after validation from others. You may have worked tirelessly to gain approval, not realizing that your true power was always within you. But as you move into this next phase of your journey, that need begins to fade. You no longer need to seek recognition from the world because you have come to fully understand the quiet authority of your presence. Your worth is not determined by the applause or acknowledgement of others. It is grounded in your own self-assurance, in the deep knowing that you are aligned with your truth, your purpose, and your higher calling. The recognition you receive from the world will no longer be something you chase or force. It will come to you naturally, drawn to the stability and authenticity that you now embody. Your presence alone will command respect, not because you are trying to impress anyone, but because you have become a stable point in a chaotic world. As you move forward, you will find that the recognition and respect you once sought will follow you without effort. Your internal alignment and mastery will be what draws people to you, not your actions or accomplishments. This is the inevitability of your impact. As you step into your full potential, you will realize that your presence is enough. You do not need external approval to confirm your worth. Your very being radiates the authority and power that comes from being fully aligned with your purpose. This is the moment when you truly understand that you are no longer seeking recognition, but embodying it. The world will begin to recognize you, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. The transformation is now complete. You no longer operate in survival mode, scrambling to meet external expectations or validate your worth. Instead, you move forward with authority, deliberate action, and a clear sense of direction. No longer are you guided by fear or doubt, but by an unwavering belief in your ability to navigate your path with clarity and purpose. You have mastered the art of self-regulation, and you now know that every decision you make is in alignment with your highest truth. The urgency and chaos that once drove you are replaced by a quiet confidence that guides your every step. Recognition will not come from your effort or struggle, but from your internal mastery. The world will not acknowledge you because of how hard you work or how much you do. It will recognize you because of your unwavering presence, your stability, and the clarity with which you move through life. You no longer need to prove yourself to anyone because you already know who you are and what you are capable of. You move through the world not to seek validation, but to fulfill your purpose. And in doing so, the recognition you once sought will naturally follow. As you embrace this new phase of your journey, it is important to stay present. Observe the subtle yet powerful transformations that are unfolding within and around you. You are entering a new chapter 1 that is grounded in clarity, confidence, and alignment with your higher self. Embrace the calm and quiet power of this stage, for it is a reflection of the deep inner work you have done. The world is shifting around you, not because you are forcing it, but because you are finally in alignment with your true self. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Every step you take from here will be guided by the wisdom and clarity that comes from deep within. The process of transformation has been long, but now you stand ready to step into the fullness of your potential. Recognize that the work you have done has prepared you for this moment. Trust in yourself, trust in your journey, and trust that the universe is guiding you to exactly where you need to go. Your impact is inevitable, and as you move forward, it will unfold in ways that you could not have imagined. So stand firm in your truth, walk with purpose, and know that you are fully equipped to navigate the next phase of your journey. You have arrived, and the world is waiting for you to shine.